welcome back. Today we're going to be diving into Section 3 on the employee manuals. If you haven't checked out Section 1 and 2 and my video on the importance of having a proper employee manual, be sure to check those out as well. So Section 3 is the House Rules and Employment Policies. So this is a very crucial area in your employee manual. It's something you want to make sure you get as much detailed information as possible, and it is crucial that you have it checked by a legal representative as well. I have broken this section down into multiple segments, as I have other sections as well, but this one is a little bit long, so bear with me today. We have the first section. We talk about our employee relation philosophy. So this provides the kind of environment that we want to provide for our employees, kind of gives them an idea of what our goals are and explains what kind of teamwork we expect from and interactions we expect from our employees. Employment terms, I have mentioned in other videos about employment terms. Generally, when you're talking about the hospitality industry, you're talking about hire at will. So employment at will, it is generally defined as a mutual agreement or consent on both parties, the employee and the company, that both the employee and the company have the right to terminate the employment at any time. It's very important to put that in there. It's important that both parties understand that this is not a contract in any way. The employee manual is merely there as a guideline. Section 3, you have equal opportunity employment information. So you want to talk about the legality of equal opportunity and what your company's policy is as far as discrimination goes. Section 4, you have harassment policies. So this is everything from your definition of sexual harassment, power harassment, anything like this, definition of what is verbal harassment, what is physical or environmental, how these should be avoided, who to report to when there is an instance that needs to be reported, and also what the company's protocols are once it has been reported, what actions the company will take in such scenarios. I like to add a subsection in there regarding coverage, that the harassment policy extends outside of work as well. As long as you are employed by the company, you're a representative of the company. So therefore, if the employees go out to a bar, if there is an inappropriate conduct happening at the bar amongst your employees, that is something that the company will take actions on. So it's very important to add that as well. Another subsection to add is retaliation, talking about retaliation, how that is unacceptable, it is illegal, as well as what the company policies are as far as retaliation go, how to report potential retaliation as well, actions that the company will take in case of false accusations. And that's generally all I put in for harassment policies. Again, have this looked at by a legal representative to make sure that it is up to your state or local government standards. Section 5, workplace violence. There should never be any violence of any sort at work, verbal, physical. As a company, the goal should be to create a healthy work environment where your employees can strive. It's good to lay out what your policies are, what is allowed, what isn't allowed, how to report any infractions. Section 6, we have our drug policy. I go for a zero tolerance when it comes to drugs of any sorts, and this goes for any illegal substance. Any illegal substance is prohibited, and this is something that I take very seriously, so I do not allow anyone to work if they're under the influence. If they are caught under the influence or doing any kind of drugs on the premise, they will be immediately escorted out and terminated. Another point to add, I have added this in Section 7, is the Immigration Reform Control Act of 1986. Now, this is something that's relatively you might think it's relatively a no-brainer, but these are kind of some important key things to have in your employee manual. I have an ADA policy, so that's the American Disabilities Act of 1990, which basically prohibits discrimination against anybody with a disability. So that is all for section 3. Turned out to be not as long as I expected, but this is a very key area. So please, again, if you are making an employee manual, make sure to get legal representation, have it read over, try to find somebody who is a reputable employment attorney when you are covering these parts of an employee manual. It is important that you don't miss anything as far as local laws or state laws, federal laws go as far as employment goes. So please do have that checked out. Again, if you haven't checked out my other videos on the employee manual, please do check that out. In the next episode, we'll be going into section 4, which is more of general work. I title it The Way We Work. Be sure to hit that like button if you enjoyed this video, subscribe if you haven't already, and I will catch you in the next one.